The big jets fly in from all over the world. New Zealand is very much on the route maps of the international airlines, a country which is no longer geographically remote. It's a nation which civil aviation has brought to the threshold of the world and his wife. Yet only 200 years ago, when Captain Cook first sailed to this land, he could not possibly have imagined the great future that was to follow as the result of his landfall. Today, visitors come to this lovely country to experience one of nature's richest works of art. But it's also a place of thriving, bustling cities, of expansion. Auckland, with its famous harbour bridge, is such a metropolis. With a population of over 500,000, Auckland is New Zealand's largest city. It has its fair share of first-class hotels, comparing favourably with those in any of the world's other major cities. For Auckland, though founded only 130 years ago, is as much an important business centre as it is a tourist magnet. New Zealand's most northerly city enjoys a fine climate. It's a pleasant place in which to live and work, with ample scope for healthy relaxation just on its doorstep. Mission Bay Beach is a popular time-off rendezvous. Mission Bay Beach is for those who take their leisure as it comes. Not far away is Piha Beach, a favourite with surfers. For them, leisure is quite a serious business. Riding the rollers in towards the soft sandy beach is rewarded with a thrill which only those who've mastered the crest of a wave can know. Those who wish to experience riding atop the waves at speed, without actually getting wet, take the hydrofoil across Waitemata Harbour. A ride on this boat on skis is not only exhilarating, it's also an indication of the modernity with which Auckland plans its future. But life in Auckland is not all hustle-bustle. It has its attractive, tranquil side too. A little more than 150 miles from Auckland is the place called Rotorua. It's a major tourist centre, and for years has been synonymous with holidays and visitors. The welcome waiting for the stranger is famous throughout the whole land. Where else would they employ pretty girls to feed parking meters so that shoppers can browse at their ease? That indeed is true hospitality. Rotorua is the main Maori settlement of New Zealand. Not for nothing is the motel called Sulphur City, for in this area are the famed hot springs, geysers, boiling mud pools and silica terraces. It's one of nature's ways of letting off steam, and man has wisely chosen to leave well alone and enjoy it. Rumbling, hissing, bubbling, smoking, it's spectacular and often overawing, but quite safe, if treated with respect. The Maoris had lived here for centuries before the Europeans came. The blessing of constant hot water was quickly realized as a labor-saving culinary aid. As for the bubbling, boiling mud, well, it's spectacular to look at. But seriously, many rheumatism sufferers have found relief in the natural properties of the area. Beauty is everywhere. The volcanic soil is rich, its life-giving properties abundant, the flora and fauna exotic. The emu could hardly be described as exotic. New Zealand is also, but with affection, called the kiwi grotesque. But they're proud of this unique flightless bird, for it's the Dominion's emblem and gives its name to sports teams and the country's fighting forces. It, like the ancient crafts of the Maoris, can be found at Rotorua. Delicate, colourful wood carving is very much a part of the cultural existence of these fine people. a race which appreciate beauty and enjoy their music. Sportsmen from all over the world come to Rotorua to match wits with magnificent rainbow trout in the many streams, rivers and lakes. It's been justly called an angler's paradise. All year round, the trout are there for the taking. There are few restrictions, but generally the trout jump at the chance of being caught. Lake Taupo is said to be one of the best trout fishing spots in the world. The reason for what is virtually an open season is that there are too many trout. What an invitation for the angler. There's an invitation too for the lovers of rugged scenery. Tongariro National Park in the centre of the North Island became New Zealand's first national park in 1894. Mount Narahoe, a mildly active volcano, magnificently dominates the scene. Golfers can enjoy the trials of a fine course on one of the world's most picturesquely situated links. Who can deny that New Zealanders have an excellent eye for blending man-made pleasures with nature's beauty? Close to the geographical centre of New Zealand is Wellington, the capital city. A ride in the cable car is one of the favourite ways in which sightseers can take in the full grandeur of the place, whose motto is supreme by situation. Wellington is exciting, but for pastoral dignity, Christchurch, the cathedral city of the South Island, is in a class of its own. This city takes good care of its younger citizens. There's a charming, informal atmosphere in the place they call the country's most English city. "200 miles distant from Christchurch is the pride of New Zealand, Mount Cook National Park. Here, nature has lavishly assembled a vast array of alpine beauty in one grand panorama. The traveller is well catered for in this roof of the nation area, which is dominated by the massive bulk of Mount Cook. Towering 12,349 feet, the Maori people named it Eorangi. Translated, that means cloud piercer. It's a great place for mountaineering, or just admiring the view. There are 17 other mountains in the Cook Range, all of them over 10,000 feet high. For those who prefer it, mountaineering is as simple as stepping aboard a ski plane. The reward is one of the world's most unusual and spectacular flights. It's only a brief flight to the head of the 18-mile-long Tasman Glacier, but not so long ago it was a place known only to experienced mountaineers. At 7,000 feet, the air is clear, the surroundings peaceful. Here, the craving for solitude can be satisfied. The lone skier sets off for the long journey across the vast snowfields down toward civilization. The plane flies away. Peace reigns again. New Zealand is a country of the open air, with scenery enough to tempt even the most chair-bound traveller to get up and go. Of course, it's possible to take a lot of it in from a bus seat, but most people can't resist the desire to sample the surroundings from a first-hand viewpoint. The tourist people cater for them all, with anything from a gentle mountain stroll to a hard climb. The choice is wide. Mount Cook is fabulous, but there's plenty more to excite the visitor to the South Island. Lake Wanaka is one of the famed southern lakes in the Queenstown district. Millions of years ago, the great glaciers gouged out deep basins amongst the mountains, leaving in their wake this wonderful landscape. But New Zealand is also a vast farm, specializing in livestock pastoral production. Wool, meat and dairy produce account for the main bulk of its total exports. The climate's ideal for raising sheep and cattle. In this nation of islands, scenes change swiftly. The rugged trail with its gentle pace and grand views make excellent riding country. The scenic contrast is again apparent at Lake Wakatipu. Abundant flowers bask in the sunshine, but within chairlift distance is the main skiing resort of South Island at Coronet Peak. The surrounding mountains were trained the first successful Everest expedition, led by Sir Edmund Hillary. It's a lot easier getting to the top this way. High up or at lake level, there's always something happening. Example, an exhilarating jet boat ride at 50 miles per hour on Lake Wakatipu. The lake steamer Earnslaw is more tranquil, a part of yesterday, which, like the scene the artist captures on canvas, belongs to a time all of its own. Also from that past is the man who pans for gold and finds it in the shallow bed of a mountain stream. The gold dust in the bottom of the pan is worth 20 pounds. But then there's gold everywhere in New Zealand. The scenery is 18 carat, particularly in Milford Sound. In the fjord land of New Zealand is the signature of a magnificent country, a place of beauty, of peace, of the outdoors, or of whatever one wishes to make it. Here is the Switzerland or Norway of the South Seas, a rugged land of mountains and a pastoral paradise in partnership.